It's draft day, y'all. We're going to talk about our last minute advice for Barry Trotz, the Draftees, and Nashville Predators fans. Plus, we're celebrating Fun Friday. We're going to play a game of Takes from a Hat and share some big Friday feelings. All that's coming up on today's Locked On Predators podcast.
You're Locked On Predators, your daily podcast on the Nashville Predators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Predators podcast, and thank you for making us your first listen of the day. We are your free daily Nashville Predators podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to kick off our Friday episode with a shout out to our Locked On Pred heads. Those are our everyday listeners who tune in to talk Nashville Predators hockey with us. We appreciate your support, and we love that we get to spend just a little bit of your day with you. I'm Ann Kimmel. I'm a writer with Penalty Box Radio, and my friends, I have a partner in crime.
You do. I'm Emma Lingen, and I am the Predators site editor and reporter for the Hockey News.
On today's show, Emma and I are wrapping up our draft coverage because it's starting today. And we are going to wrap up our coverage by giving some last minute advice to Barry Trotz, to the young draftees, and to Nashville Predators fans. Plus, it's Fun Friday. We have got some juicy takes from a hat that we are going to dive into as well. All right, Emma, draft day. It's going to be a big, busy, crazy weekend. How do you describe your feelings about draft day if you had to do it in one word?
Yeah. I don't know. Anxious?
Yeah.
But I'm just an anxious person. So, like, most things make me anxious, but I feel like draft day makes me anxious. Not in a, like, a scary way, but in a, like, just you're kind of on edge, and it's like anything could happen and you really don't know. And it's exciting, but it's also nerve-wracking.
It's very roller coaster.
Yeah.
It feels very roller coaster where you're like, this could be really, really fun, but I bet there's going to be moments where my stomach comes out my forehead. So we're going to kick off this episode, Emma. I want you to just, we've talked about picks, prospects, we've talked about depth in the draft, all that stuff. What is your best final piece of advice to Barry Trotz?
Go easy on me, because I'm going to be there and I'm going to have to cover everything that you do. So
yeah,
please don't make any wild and crazy move. I mean, good moves are okay, but like, don't trade UC Saros for a 7th round pick or something like that. Like, please just don't do something like that. I don't think he will. I trust Barry, but
yeah, in Barry we trust.
Yes,
so far. But yeah, you are going to be scrambling. So Emma is going to be in the Sphere. She is going to be scrambling around. It's going to be so exciting. I can't wait just to follow along with your coverage there. But it is draft night is insane. The draft in general, I think, is insane. And I don't know that you see it from the outside, but having had it here in Nashville last year, it is nutso, y'all. It's a great kind of nuts, but it is nuts.
It's a lot. And you add on to that the fact that it's in Vegas, which is probably the one city that's more nuts than Nashville when it comes to hosting an NHL event. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
It is
It's
gonna be
very
a lot.
Yeah, not for the faint of heart. Even just going to Vegas, like, it can be very overstimulating. So I think
yes.
Yeah, it'll be a lot. But I'm so excited. I mentioned this earlier in the week, but seeing the pictures of, what the inside of the Sphere is going to look like when they announce the picks and stuff, I'm so excited. I think
cannot
so cool.
wait. I cannot wait to see that. That is going to be amazing. I do agree with you. Vegas is a lot. How many times have you been to Vegas? You've been there before, right?
Yeah, I've been there a few times. Only once for, I would say, pleasure. The other times we're with the team for work. But yeah, it's the Strip is a lot.
It's a whole thing, y'all.
It is a whole thing. And it's kind of just like being in a giant airport that's also has nightclubs and casinos,
There
because
you go.
it's like everything's really expensive, but they can do it to you because they have everything in one place, so you don't have to leave. And there's just a lot of people, and like it's just a lot. But it's
Yeah.
also like an airport, though. Great people watching in Vegas.
Oh my gosh, yes. Now, I do want to give you a piece of advice going to Vegas. We went to Las Vegas for our honeymoon 25 years ago, my first time in Vegas. And what I knew about Las Vegas was there are coupons for everything. They hand out coupons for everything. And I'm all about a good deal, y'all. And so we were walking down the strip and a guy was handing out what I thought were coupon books. And so I said to my husband, I'm going to go get one. And my husband's like, don't go. No, 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 no. And I walked up to this guy and I said, oh, can I have one? Thinking I was getting a coupon book. Y'all, they are not handing out coupon books on the strip in Vegas. Okay.
Yeah,
And
I probably could have told you that one.
my husband just stood away and just watched this unfold. And the guy was like, yeah, you can have one. And I took it and looked down and I was like, oh my gosh, these aren't coupons.
You're sure
They're-
not?
They're sure not. So don't take anything from anyone off the street, Emma. That is not a coupon book.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
That is very good advice. Yes.
Yes. I probably wouldn't give that advice to Barry Trotz. Hopefully he's going to be so busy that he's not going to be looking for a good deal on a drink and need a coupon book.
Well,
So,
speaking of drinks, this would be another piece of advice maybe that I will just give myself, because the first time that I went to Vegas for fun, I went with one of my best friends who's actually now full circle getting married in Vegas later this year, and I'm going back for the wedding.
I love that.
But I went with one of my best friends, and I was so excited because at the time that I went, this was maybe like 5 or 6 years ago now. It was the first time I had ever been in a city that had open container laws. Like you could walk around with drinks, and this is going to make me sound like a booze hound, and I'm not. But it was more just like the novelty of it. I was like, I can leave, walk out into the street with this drink. Like, wow, such luxury. It was exciting for me. Now, the problem is I kept confusing the term. Like, I kept saying the wrong word. I was thinking open container.
Oh,
but
no.
what kept coming out was open carry.
Those are two very different things,
They're
Emma.
extremely different.
Very different.
But I would be very loudly saying things. Wow, I love that they have open carry here. And my friend's like, Emma, shut up. Please just stop talking. And yeah, so.
Oh my gosh, Emma, that's amazing. Open
The thing
carry,
is, like,
open container.
I knew what I meant, if people could just read my mind.
So my advice to Emma is maybe just don't talk about open rules.
Yeah, or just like don't speak on the streets of Las Vegas. Don't talk to anyone for any reason at all.
Yep,
I think that just covers all the
There we
bases.
go. We're safe. Yeah. Yeah. My advice to Barry Trotz, besides don't take anything that you think may be a coupon book, is go big. Like, go big. I'm here for, like, Nashville is in a reset. I think Barry Trotz has made some really good moves to kick this off. I think Barry Trotz is in a position to do some things. And I don't want him to do something big just because he can. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, as Emma's mom says. But if there is a deal to be had and Barry Trotz feels like it's a good one, do it. Just not with UC Saros. There's the little caveat to my advice. What is your best advice to the young draftees that are at the draft, Emma?
Just I think take a moment to be proud of yourself and how hard you've worked to get to this moment, because I know, like, I'm sure at times it wasn't easy, and you can get down on yourself or thinking that you're expected to be picked at a certain place and maybe you're not, or just all of these kids have gone through so much just to get to that point. And, yes, the whole like getting drafted, this is just the start of your career and there's still more work to do, but take a moment to just be proud of yourself. And also turn to your parents and say thank you to them.
That is 100% my advice. Is I agree. Take a moment and be proud of yourself, but find a small pocket of quiet time where you can go through in your mind the people who really helped you get there. And at some point, when all of this dies down, send them a text, send them a note, and thank them for what they did. Your mama and your dad logged so many miles. Thank you would be great. But yeah, I love that. It's such a big night, and like you said, they've worked so hard. It's really exciting. Finally, we're going to wrap up this segment. But what is your advice to the Nashville Predators fans going into the draft, Emma? If you could give them a piece of advice, what would it be?
Take a chill pill before the draft.
It's an open carry night, y'all.
Yeah. It's an open carry. Oh God, yeah. Take a chill pill because sometimes you can't see like things that, and this is not specific to Predators fans, hockey fans, sports fans in general. They tend to look at any decisions that are made, like whether it's a draft pick, a trade, whatever, in a vacuum. And it's like, well, they said this, but now they're making this move. And that's not what they said they were going to do. Like, just remember there is so much that you don't know. And I'm even including us in that too. It's
Absolutely.
like, it's you don't know what you don't know. And there's so much going on behind the scenes. Like this is all, again, with where the Predators are in their reset right now. They're not going to be contending for a Stanley Cup next year. So don't freak out when they don't throw all of their assets at one like big fish in trying to get a trade done or something like that. I just think that it's short-sighted. Just try to have a big picture view of things as much as you can. This is about what's going to make the team better over the next 3 to 4 years. So that would be my advice.
I love that. Mine along the same lines, trust the process. We've talked before this week about the scouting that goes into preparing for this draft. And you are absolutely right. I mean, we don't know what we don't know, but trust the process. Let's just relax and enjoy this. Let Emma do all the running around. Let's the rest of us kind of relax and enjoy this draft and see what Barry Trotz does Friday and Saturday nights. It's going to be really exciting. And then we're into free agency. So everybody just buckle up.
Buckle up. I will say, speaking of running around, I'm very proud of myself. I learned from last year. So last year, I used to be of the belief that like if you're going to wear heels for a work event, always bring flats as like a backup, just to change. So I did do that last year, and I had the emergency flats that I did change into somewhere in the middle of night one because my feet were just like, absolutely not. We're done. This year, I just got rid of the middleman, and I am wearing sneakers to the draft, y'all. I learned last year, but I got some pretty ones. They're sparkly, and I'm really excited. And
I love that.
So yes, I learned I'm going to be nice to my body, nice to my feet, and wear sneakers to the draft so I can do all the running around and get all that good information for you guys.
All right. And we will tweet out a picture of Emma's draft sneakers tonight because that's
so good.
Important. They're can't so wait. I love a good shoe.
I know you do. I know you do. I love a sparkle. I can't say no to a sparkle.
Coming up, Emma and I are going to tackle a bunch of other topics as we play a Friday game of Takes from a Hat. So stay tuned for that. Today's episode is brought to you by our great friends at eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. That's the formula for winning championships. It's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. All right, Emma, it is Friday. We are going to play a game of takes from a hat. I have a full confession. I forgot my hat downstairs. So we are using the Nashville Predators giant 10-gallon foam hat, which is officially the greatest piece of hockey swag ever manufactured in the entire league.
Okay, I'm wondering why we haven't been using that hat this whole time. I feel like it was made for this.
In the screen.
That's okay. Go big or go home.
I adore my giant 10-gallon foam Predators swag hat.
And it's coming in clutch right now.
It is coming in clutch. All right. Oh, here's just a nice, easy one, Emma. What is your favorite thing about hockey season?
Oh, that's not easy.
Well, okay.
I don't know. I guess just seeing the guys every day or almost every day. It's like, and it's just certain people, even, other media and stuff. Like you go the whole summer and you don't see them, and it's sad. You miss your buddies. So
Yeah.
it's just seeing my buddies every day.
Yeah. We spend a lot of time with media and players when you cover this team because hockey season, 82 games, baby. So yeah, there is a really cool community for sure. I miss the sound of hockey, which I know sounds strange, but I love the sound of hockey. It's just, it is music to me. I miss that sound. There is just like when we get back to the rink, it's just like, oh, okay, there it is. It's like the sound of the ocean to some people. That's what the hockey sound is for me. I love it.
Like morning skate, like a good, it is very soothing. It's very relaxing.
I love it. All right, let's see. It's really hard. You've really got to reach into the old 10-gallon hat. All right, prediction time. Which team will win the Stanley Cup in 2025?
Oh,
I know this is a hard one because free agency hasn't started, but let's just put it out there.
Wow. Yeah, I have no idea. Hey, why not? I'm going to go Edmonton. They'll go back and win it.
Yep, that's actually my pick is Edmonton. I really need that to happen. The fact that Matthias Ekholm has lost twice has devastated me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's right.
Yes.
So, but I do think Edmonton can get back. I mean, they made it to the postseason after just a horrific start to the season. And you think, man, if they can continue some of the momentum that they had through the playoffs and in the finals to kick off the regular season and build on that, they could be really, really great. But again, let's see what happens. It's hard. This is a hard prediction to make because, it's who knows who's going to be where in a week.
In a day, even.
In a day. Oh my
gosh. Who knows?
No. Oh, here we go. This is a draft question, but not about players. Okay. Draft your top 3 NHL logos.
Ooh. This is a good one. No, I'm going to cheat for a second because I feel like I need them. I know what they are, but like I don't want to look at them.
Yeah.
So here's one. Here's a hot take that I think a lot of people will probably disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
I am a big fan of the Minnesota Wild logo.
Interesting.
I
Interesting.
think it is so cleverly done how it's like the landscape picture of like the wild, but it's in the shape of like a predatory animal. Like, I think that's so clever. It makes you think a little bit. I like a logo that makes you think a little bit. Other hot take, I do not like their Subway uniforms. The North Star
No.
uniforms. They look like Subway sandwiches.
Heard it here first, folks.
Yep. Okay. So that's one. I do really like I like the New Jersey Devils. I like their logo.
Do you really? I
do.
feel like it looks like a kitchen, like some sort of kitchen utensil.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
I
I'm
don't
not sure
know.
what it's for, but it
Yeah.
looks like something that would be in my kitchen utensil drawer. But that's okay. You can
Yeah.
have your picks.
I like
What's your
that
third
one.
best? Third pick.
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Leafs. It just looks so classic.
It is.
It's a classic one.
It is a classic.
Honorable mention, fourth place. I think the Kraken have a cool logo.
That is my favorite.
So they're my number one. If we were drafting color schemes, they would
Oh,
be my number one. Love it.
I feel like Seattle nailed literally everything when it came to branding, like nailed it. So
Yes.
for me, they are my number one. I love Seattle. I really like the San Jose Sharks. I'm all about a shark eating a hockey stick. I'm
Yep.
here for that. This is an illegal pick, but I'm doing it anyway because it's our show and we can do what we want.
Yep.
I personally love the Florida Panthers logo that the kid drew. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That is the greatest logo ever for me. Like, that needs to be the official logo. So for me, it's that cartoon. Let's do one more here. Let's see. Ooh. What player performance are you most interested to see at training camp?
I think I have a couple, but for different reasons.
That's okay. You can have as many as you want. It's our show.
I'm interested to see Cody Glass. I'm interested to see how, because I know for a fact that kid is working his behind off this summer. And I want to see him just come into training camp and just blow the doors off that place.
Come on.
And then I'm also interested to see, and we've kind of touched on this before, but I'm interested to see Mark Del Gaizo. I think this is going to be a very important training camp for him.
Yeah, I love that. Definitely, I am with you 100%, Cody Glass. And I expect big things. Like I'm with you. I really can see him knocking people's socks off in training camp. And I am 100% here to see that happen. All right, let's do one more. What news are you most wanting to hear early on July 1st? The start of free agency. What do you want to hear early?
I know what I want to hear, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't think it will happen on July 1st. I want a UC Saros extension yesterday. I want it right now. And I know that he's not a free agent, but that he is eligible to sign that extension beginning July 1st. So that's why I say that. If we're talking about actual free agents, I would just be tickled if the Predators signed Chandler Stevenson, because I'm the only one.
This. I think you are onto something.
No one else is talking about it except me. And so if they did that, if y'all haven't noticed, I really like to be right. And if I could be right about that, like I would be insufferable for like a day and then I would get over it. But that would be nice.
We would let you take a lap in your sparkle shoes if they sign him and just be like, I called it.
I'll do it. I
called it.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. And it would be great. I would meet him at training camp and be like, I'm the reason you're here, right? I campaign for you.
You're welcome. For me, I really would like the Predators to announce that they've signed Jason Zucker.
Okay.
I really, now look, don't get me started on the Kiefer Sherwood thing. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
But I really would like to see Jason Zucker back with the Predators. And all kinds of other moves I'm interested in, but that's one where I'm like, I really am curious to see if that's what happens. I'm 100% here for it. So that's the one I'm like, hey, Barry Trotz, when the clock strikes, could you just let me know? But I agree with you too. Can we get the UC Saros thing done so we can wrap up that chapter of nothing but pure painful speculation?
Just so we can stop with the Predators being linked to literally every team that needs a goalie.
Everybody.
Although, to be honest, the Predators, I mean, a lot of the potential suitors for UC Saros are off the board at this point.
That's right.
With Ottawa, Toronto, New Jersey. So
Yeah.
again, we all know what's going to happen, but until it happens officially, it's still the Wild West out there. So
It is. It is. Yep. All right. Coming up, Emma and I are going to wrap up this week's episode with some big Friday feelings. Friends, they are huge. First, want to let you know today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You all know Emma and I love sports. We love them so much. We want to be watching them all the time, but the playoffs have wound down now. There's fewer games, and the sports aren't sportsing quite like we'd like them to. But FanDuel is going to let you keep the sports going whenever you want. All you have to do is open the FanDuel app and dream up bets anytime you're in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. Whether you are new to FanDuel or you've been using FanDuel for a while, there is something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head over to fanduel.com/lockedon and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. All right, Emma, it is Friday. We have done some fun Friday takes from a hat, but let's just wrap up the week talking about some real, raw, big Friday feelings. There's been a lot going on this week. I want you to go ahead and share your big Friday feeling with us.
Well, my big Friday feeling made me go almost viral on Twitter earlier this week, which I find interesting because from what I've seen, I am not alone in having this feeling. So I'm not sure why people have decided to latch on to my take, but it's fine. I'm here. I stand by it. So my big Friday feeling is that Connor McDavid should not have won the Con Smythe in this year's playoffs. Because
lay it out.
I think two things can be true here, people. Is he the best player in the league right now? Yes. Is he one of the best players of all time? Yes. Was he the MVP for his team during the regular season? Yes. All of that can be true, but he can still not be the most valuable player to his team in the playoffs. And the reason I think he wasn't, my reasoning, honestly, wasn't even my full reasoning. This was an example because there are character limits on tweets, y'all. So I had to be limited to one example of why I think he shouldn't have won it. He disappeared in game 6 of the final. And yes, before all the angry mansplainers come at me, I understand that this is for the playoff MVP, not just the final MVP. So yes, I shouldn't just have recency bias in looking at his performance in the final. But these are the same people, the people who are trying to explain that to me. The same people are saying, well, Bobrovsky disappeared for 3 games in the final. Well, maybe then you should get rid of your recency bias and look at what he did for the rest of the playoffs.
Yes.
Because I think, And even, you know what? I think it goes deeper than this. I think it's more nuanced than this. But you know what? If we are really going to boil it down to, okay, but because again, to be clear, I think that the Con Smythe should have gone to Sergei Bobrovsky from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are just boiling it down, oversimplifying it to being, well, both McDavid and Bobrovsky disappeared for a couple games during the final, well, then go with the one who won the Stanley Cup, because the goal is to win, and it should be the guy who helps his team win. And I understand, I'm not trying to take away from McDavid's accomplishment. I understand he broke Wayne Gretzky's record. I think that's all well and good. But at the end of the day, how valuable are you to your team if you can't help them win? You got to be able to step up when it counts and show up when it counts. And people are saying, oh, it was just the last 2 games. Well, those were 2 pretty important games. So, that's my Big Friday feeling. And big feeling number, that was 1A. This is big feeling number 1B. I've got a lot.
Lay it out.
Number 1B is the people who argue that McDavid, the primary reason McDavid should have won the Conn Smythe is because he was playing the playoffs with an injury, an abdominal injury that requires surgery, and was still able to go out there and, put up 42 points and break Gretzky's record. That doesn't make you the most valuable player. And on top of that, let's not glorify this, because I really don't like that we glorify this in the playoffs. I think absolutely there is some truth and some value to playing hurt. Like, there are some injuries that you muscle through and you get through it. Having an injury that requires surgery and that would otherwise hold you out of the lineup if it was not the final, I don't think we should be glorifying that, because it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It sets a bad example, and you're putting the player at risk, and you're putting his teammates at risk. And so I think that that's kind of 2 separate issues. One, being injured and still being able to score a lot of points does not make you the MVP. I mean, it's impressive for sure. It's impressive,
It is, but that's not the criteria.
No.
Nor is that information that voters have at the time, because the NHL does not share that information. So that's not an argument that you can make, because you don't have that information.
Correct.
Yeah.
So those are my feelings, and I stand by them.
Yep. 100%. I agree with you. I don't feel like there was a clear-cut, obvious Conn Smythe winner for this year. I really don't. I think you can make arguments for and against. For me, it comes down to McDavid and Bobrovsky. And I think you can make arguments for and against both of them. But I agree with you. If it is neck and neck, why don't you go with the guy who helped his team win it? So, yeah, and look, people can have their own opinions, and that's great. But just don't be jerky about it. Don't be jerky about a difference of opinion. Just throwing that out there.
We're all entitled to our opinions, and it doesn't entitle you to attack people personally for them.
There you go.
You can tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. That's fine. Like, you're entitled to your own opinion, but don't tell me I'm an idiot. Like, that's just not nice. You don't need to do that.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody chew on that as you get ready for the draft with your open carry.
And my sparkly shoes.
And her sparkly shoes. Speaking of open carry and sparkly shoes, I think we want to be sure that we share at the end of this episode, Emma, where can everybody find you? Where can everybody find their work? Because they're going to want to make sure they get a look at your shoes.
Yes, you can find me and my shoes on social media at Emma_Lingen, Twitter and Instagram, same handle, both places. And you can find my work online at the Hockey News.
And you can find me online. I'll probably be wearing slippers, but you can find a picture of my slippers online at ANK_Mama on Ice. You can follow my work at penaltyboxradio.com as well. Make sure you are also following the podcast online at LO_Predators and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are going to have coverage tonight and tomorrow for the draft. When the Predators make a selection, we are going to have reaction information dropping on our YouTube channel. So make sure you check all of that out for our immediate reactions. And of course, we will be back next week to talk about all that went on at the draft and all that's going on in free agency. That's going to do it for today's Locked On Predators podcast. Thank you for making us your first listen of the day. Hope you all enjoy the draft this weekend. We'll be back on Monday.